Mark Carpenter is talking about the undercard, and it should be in March and April. Standonius and Bootdiff, right? So when I read this from ESPN, it said that Standonius is looking forward to beating Bootdiff on the Spence and Ugas card, and then fight the winner. Schaefer said. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. All right, so that article with Mike Carpenter got me thinking about a lot of things. And let's talk about what happened with the WBA, right? Real quick. Let's just do a little flash thing going on. The WBA, they blocked the situation between Ugas and Spence. They both had a contract. This had nothing to do with mandatories. They both had a contract. All of a sudden, they came up with this tournament, which their rules blocked. Their rules blocked the situation between Ugas and Spence. All right. So, everybody's looking at the IBF situation because we left it alone with the WBA. Now, the WBA, I know Ugas, before we do the IBF, trying to figure out what was going on over there. I know Ugas petitioned to the WBA and said, listen, man, how y'all going to do this? I had a contract. They said no to him. Then they said no twice. Am I right? Let's stay with facts, not the feeling. They said no twice. What happens after that? All of a sudden, these rules of having a tournament disappeared. All of a sudden, Ugas got bailed out and Spence got bailed out. Because as we know, Spence IBF mandatory was Boots. Because Abu Kaparov, he lost. So it would have been either Cody Crowley or Boots. Or Boots fight Cody, right? Just to get that mandatory spot. Depending on what the IBF want to do. If they want to make him, the mandatory, they would have just make Boots the mandatory. So actually, Al Heyman came up with the money to bail out Spence from IBF, mandatory. This is facts. Come on, this is facts. Over feeling. And also Ugas. He bailed out both of them over this rule that the WBA had that just popped up out of nowhere, blocking the unification match. And it's so funny when Manny Pacquiao got stripped for inactivity when this COVID was going on and this and that and that and that. And everybody was like, they agreed on it. Everybody was so happy and was agreeing on the situation. But then the WBA said, let everybody feel what's going on and how we moving right now. And then when it started to affect Spence, now it was an uproar. But no uproar from the situation that happened to Manny Pacquiao, because a lot of people that don't like Manny Pacquiao, they didn't want to hear it. They don't care. They just want him out, right? So now, let me get off of that, because I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan. I'm just outside looking in between these two brothers, and I'm seeing what's going on. And I'm not a big fan of Errol. I'm not a big fan of Spence, but hold on. I'm not a big fan of Errol, and I'm not a big fan of Spence. But I like both of them, right? But the problem is the WBA and how they move. And people say, oh, well, you need, these are the rules and this is how it goes. But they changed their rules in order to, ASAP. I mean, it was ASAP to eliminate these titles and just make one title. No regular. We just needed a super champion. We need it so badly. So badly, we got to do it in the situation of unification with Errol Spence and Ugas. Even though Ugas and Errol Spence has a contract. And I'm going to get back to this. because this is going to show you something. I'm not going to talk about it now, but the next video. So Al Heyman, he came in, he bailed Ugas out, he bailed Spence out. We're seeing a unification match. And I see the Crawford fans are getting really upset that Spence did not go into a fight with Bud Crawford right away. So I'm saying two things as a Manny Pacquiao fan looking in. I said, listen, man, I've been following the welterweight division. and I see that Spence said, I'm cleaning up my side of the street. Oh, I know you don't want to hear that side of the street, but that's facts. All right. When Manny Pacquiao had the belt, he named Manny Pacquiao and Bud Crawford and Danny Garcia. He stuck to his word. He fought Danny Garcia, right? When Manny Pacquiao got stripped and they gave it to Ugas, what did Spence said? Ugas, you got something that I need. You got something that I want. We all remember this now, so I'm not lying. And I know these Crawford fans like, oh man, you know, but the man is fighting a champion. He is a champion, and he's part of the undisputed getting all the straps. So he is doing what he said he was doing. He's getting the straps. He's doing what he's supposed to do. That's it, right? I know a lot of Crawford fans like, oh, the fight should happen now. But guess what? The negotiations between Spence and Crawford ain't working out. 60-40, and Crawford still wants the 50-50, which I'll explain where I see Bud standing and where I see Spence standing in my next video, and how you can't understand what's going on with Bud Crawford and his thinking and shit. Like, you know, why is this? But a part of this WBA doing what they did, and Al Heyman had to step in and put that money out. Wow. I want to say the key word, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say that word, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it in the second video I make, so you can understand where I think Bud is coming from about what he's trying to do. What he's trying to do. Not what he's saying he's going to get, but what he's trying to do. All right? So, now, when I read that ESPN Mike Harbinger, I looked down, I said, damn. So, is it the winner of Standonius beat Butnev? I mean, the winner of Ugas versus Spence? Do Standonius or Butnev, whoever wins. I have Butnev beating Standonius. I'm going to let you know right now. I watched both of these guys fight, and that last fight that I saw a couple fights of Standonius, I saw a couple fights of Butnev, and I noticed that last fight with Jamal James, that boy was switching, boy. He was switching. He finished him off in, I think, the 9th round, if I can recall, if I remember. But all through the certain rounds, he stayed orthodox, and then something, you know, he switched. And then he finished him off in the 9th, I think, in an orthodox position. So I'm like, all right, he's strong. He's got good power. He got better power than Standonius. Standonius is good also. I'm just saying, he's good. You know, he's aggressive. He comes forward. He got some good aggression. He got a good jab when I watch some of his fights, right? But I'm saying to myself, these two whoever wins got a chance to fight either Ugas or Spence, whoever wins that fight. And I was like, damn. But where's this leading to? And the time. Where is the time leading to where we're going to see in 2022 a fight with Spence and Bud Crawford, or Ugas and Bud Crawford? Where do we see it? So I'm like, damn, this is not right, man. This is holding up undisputed. This is holding up undisputed. Regardless about Bud, y'all Spence fans think Bud holding up undisputed. Right now we have two holdups. We got the WBA doing this foolishness, and then we got Crawford, and we trying to figure out negotiations. That's two. 2022, this fight is happening. That's why I'm in this video I'm showing you, because a lot of Spence fans are saying that Crawford should fight Boots right now. And I'm saying to myself, I'm sorry, I'm all over. You know, sometimes I just get these things in my mind. I'm saying, okay, well, the WBA changed their rules because they got a bag from Al Heyman or whoever, or whatever, right? So somebody should be getting replaced in that tournament. And I feel it's Boots. Okay, because you took Ugas out for Ugas to do his unification with Spence. So I'm saying, well, why don't you just put Boots in it? But they didn't do that. See, sometimes you got to look at what they're not doing to get an answer why they're doing. Let me repeat that. Sometimes you got to look at what they're not doing to look at the future and say, well, if they're not doing that, they might do this, right? Because to me, I'm like, listen, you took Ugas out of the tournament, you could put Boots in. So whoever's the winner, Butnev and Standonis, they can fight Boots, right? And then Boots is there, right? That could happen in the WBA division also. I mean, you know, he's ranked up there somewhere. So, that ain't gonna happen, basically. So, I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, the time. This is the time. So, Ugas and Spence is gonna fight somewhere in March or April. So, where did that leave Crawford? Where does that leave Crawford? Now, a lot of people are saying he should fight Boots. He should fight Virgil Ortiz. He should fight all these young lions, right? And I'm saying, in the IBF, in the WBO, his mandatory was Sean Porter, and he did that. So I know it's what you want, Spence fans, and you have the right to feel this way. You want Bud Crawford. You want Bud Crawford to fight Boots or Virgil. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I don't agree, but I agree, and I agree, and I don't agree. But I'm trying to say that I agree that you have the right to say that. But it's not what you want. It's what it's his what's going on, where he beat Sean Porter, and for a whole year he don't got no mandatory. He has a voluntary. So so you're saying he should voluntary himself to fight a young lion. Okay. That's what you want. All right. Very selfish, but that's what you want. I get it. I understand. It's a wanting situation, right? Yeah. It's a wanting situation. So now I'm moving on to March and April that Ugas and Spence going to fight. So who is Crawford going to fight? Well, like in my last video, I said the best move is Keith Thurman. Now, this is dependent on Keith Thurman, where he's up here physically and mentally. If he could beat Barrios, I think that's what Crawford should go for. Now, guess what happens if he decides to go that way? If Keith beats Barrios. And like I said in my last video, Barrios is very lucky. This is his second pay-per-view. Okay? So, I'm looking at the situation. I'm saying, damn. If Crawford fights if Crawford fights Keith Thurman, that shit should be somewhere in July. So now these same Spence fans are saying, yo, Crawford should do this, Crawford should do that. Listen to what I'm saying. Crawford should fight Virgil. Crawford should fight Spence. Crawford should fight Boots Ennis. Keep the same energy, because now, like I said, Crawford legally does not have a mandatory because he beat Sean Porter. So now if that whole thing is reversed and flipped back, where between March and April, let's just say this is what we want. This is what we want. Ugas and Spence fight. Spence wins, right? We try to go through the negotiations with Crawford. For some reason, it don't work. It don't work. And he announces his fight. When is Barrios and Keith Thurman fight? Oh, they fighting in February. So we might get an announcement, if Keith Thurman beats Barrios, that he's going to fight Keith Thurman in July. So now what happens now? Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy about what Crawford should do about fighting Boots and Virgil. Because now it's going to give back to you now. Because now if he say, yes, I'm going to fight Keith Thurman, he won. He's a pay-per-view attraction, like I showed in my last videos, right? Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, right? Well, you know, we could go back and flip those names to like, well, Keith Thurman fighting Keith Thurman is fighting Bud Crawford somewhere in July, right? Successfully, hopefully everything goes good and he doesn't get injured in the fight, Spence, because he said his eye, and we know that Ugas gonna look for that eye. I'll look for that eye, right? My eye. I'm gonna look for that eye. I'm gonna test that eye. I'm gonna see if that eye is right. So if His eye is right. He's successfully, he's good. No injuries. His eyes don't affect him. Everything is good. Everything's curry. Well, I know Spence is going to be looking for Crawford for negotiations. And would this negotiations go through? Because this is the only thing that's going to save him. This is the only thing that's going to save him, because the way I see it, man, if Standonius and Butnev fight, and I feel Butnev's going to win, would Butnev fight Spence in this tournament? Or Al Heyman gets another bag to bail him out this situation? See where I'm coming from? Do he get another bag to bail him out this tournament again? Because, what's the key word? Step aside money. That's what Standonius got. Step aside money. So if we're going to step aside again, it's that key word. I ain't using it yet. I'm going to use it in the next video. Because all these dudes talking about 60-40 and Bud is talking about 50-50. And y'all can't understand why this man's talking about 50-50. But I'm going to tell you, if I see this example if I see this example from Al Heyman that he got to bail Spence out. If he got to bail Spence out again, I'm going to be using that word in the next video. I'm going to explain to you why that word means a lot. So, where am I? Yeah, so would Al Heyman bail him out? Because there's only two things that's going to bail out Spence. It's either, no, not actually. I'm thinking, because the WBA came up with a tournament out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. They could still block the Crawford. They could still block the Crawford and Errol Spence fight. Even if they have a contract together and it works. Look what they did. Look what they did with Spence and Ugas. They had a contract. They had a fulfillment of fighting each other, and they blocked it by having a tournament. So actually, if it's true, okay, I think Al Heyman could bail him out again. I don't know. This is all speculation, right? But I'm just seeing by what I'm seeing about what they're doing and how they was enforcing, oh my gosh, the WBA was enforcing that they had to ASAP do this tournament. Knowing, vindictively, purposely, knowing that they had a unification between Errol Spence thing. So these sanction bodies doing whatever they want to, when they want to, with their rules. With their rules. Because they don't want a regular champion and super champion, so they're doing what they want with their rules. So let me move on and get this over with. So now, let's say Al Heyman bails him out. Now, the other thing that bails out Spence is that if Crawford decides the contract that he likes and we could get this fight. If he don't get this fight, because Crawford is not, don't like the negotiations and feel like he should get something 50-50 or whatever instead of 60-40, well, guess what? Remember Spence fans, we used telling Crawford fans, and you was telling what Crawford should do right now? Crawford should fight Boots. Crawford should fight Virgil Ortiz. Well, my friends, the tables has turned. Like I said, Crawford don't have to fight nobody for the next year unless he's voluntary to do so. But what about Spence? His back is against the wall again. Yes, I mean, this is what I'm seeing. Anybody in the comments, please help me out. Not with your feelings, but your facts. He's back in the situation he is again with his mandatories. Whether it's Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis. Because that mandatory is going to be up, man. Because this year is going to go by. Crawford fight twice in a year, right? Twice in a year. He fought Sean Porter. Well, it's going to be twice a year. Sean Porter. And no, once in a year. He fought Sean Porter. And then next year he's going to fight, hopefully Keith. If Keith do what he's supposed to do. Basically. So, in 2022, he fights Keith. He can sit back and say, you know what? After I beat Keith, since we had a situation in between time where you fought Ugas, you beat Ugas, we going back to this 50-50, 60-40, we can't get negotiations. My fight, Matter of fact, I don't even have to wait to do negotiation. I'm just going to say after the fight with Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman, I'm having to fight with him in July. Now, what are you going to do, Spence? What are you going to do, Spence? So that's what I'm saying. Y'all Spence fans are so in a rush to say, yo, this, that, and Crawford should do this, and Crawford should fight that. But now, I hope that same energy is okay when it comes back, because time is on Crawford's side. I believe time is on Crawford's side. He being 35, he's going to be 35. When it comes to the negotiations, time is going to be on the side. I'm not going to talk about that right now. When it comes to the mandatory pushing up on Spence, time is on Crawford's side, but not Spence's side. So we should see if Spence going to fight in this tournament, if he's going to fight Butnev or Standonius. We're going to see if Heyman going to bail him out. We're going to also see if the negotiations is going to go through. If it don't, we're going to also see if Crawford is going to, after the fight with Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman, if he's successful, if it's going to be straight appointment to fight each other in July, right? Without no negotiations after Errol supposedly supposed to beat August in March or April. Are we going to hear the announcement that Keith Thurman is going to fight Bud Crawford in July? Or are we going to wait? Or Bud Crawford is going to wait and see if he's going to get the right negotiations? And if not, well then, my friend Spence, we back to square one. I mean, that's the way I see it. We back to square one. As I allow him and get you out of this tournament, or we get the right negotiations with Crawford, or your mandatory Virgil or Boots Ennis. Which one is it, my dude? This is not checkers, it's chess, yo. And I'm seeing where it's going. I'm seeing where it's going. But anyway, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here for you to read between the lines. And if I'm wrong in anything, like I said, I am a fan. I'm not an expert in boxing. I'm a fan. I watch. I'm only giving you fan ideas. I'm not giving you, I'm an expert. I'm not, I told you so, Nostradamus. I don't have that ego. I won't have it either. But I'm just saying, I'm a fan. These are the things that the fans should be thinking about right now. Not just thinking about what we want. Yeah, we want it. We can say want all we want, but is it going to work out the way we want? Half the time it don't. So we got to go in different realms like Spider-Man. We got to see if this happens here and if that happens here, and we got to say there's no promise, because a promise is a comfort to a fool. Yes, it is. All right, I'm out, y'all. Y'all have a good one. On to the next video. I don't know when I'm going to make it. I'm just going to sit back and watch a little bit more and see what's going on. These sanction bodies, they're funny, man. We never know what's going to happen. But until then, one.